Hi, cutie pies. I am Lanickia, and you are watching Let's Talk Soaps with Lanickia. This is my podcast, episode 3, called One Kiss.
There used to be a graying tower alone on the sea. You became the light on the dark side of me. Love remains a drug that's the high and not the pill. But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become a large and the light that you shine can't be seen? Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. And now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave.
All right, guys, before we get into this, we have a few, just some things to discuss. First of all, rest in peace to Tony Bennett and Sinead O'Connor. They both passed away this past week. So yeah, just rest in peace to them, and prayers up for their families and all loved ones and fans, because fans do have a personal relationship, or they feel like they have a personal relationship with stars, and it just feels like someone we know, because we start loving, especially with music, because we love them through their music, and it might come to us at a rough time in our life, or a really happy moment in our lives, and we connect with them through that. So rest in peace to them and their family. If you do not know, Days of Our Lives has been having some issues behind the scenes, with a director. I believe his name is Albert. There's been some kind of misconduct that's been going on, and so they are halting production. I don't know how that's going to affect the schedule, because Days tends to film really far in advance. Um, which is one of the reasons that I really love Days, because they do film so far in advance, and you get to see everything with them, because they do that, so you get to enjoy the soap, and you can see the detail that goes into the thought process of having everything to come together. So I don't know how that's going to affect them. I believe the last time I checked, Ron said they had already filmed all the way out to until December, or at least he had written. I don't know if they had filmed it all out until December, but they usually film like 6 months, 3 to 6 months in advance. So we'll see. Good news for Ava fans. Tamara and Cassie will be joining Days of Our Lives, I believe, starting next week. They will be actually, because Harris, who's played by Steve Burton, he goes off to Bayview, and so because of that, they've actually been able to incorporate the character of Ava, and I believe Eve is her name. I wasn't on when Cassie was playing. I wasn't watching too much when Cassie was playing that role, but I'm super excited to see her. I loved her as Blair. I loved her, and she's supposed to be um a classmate to Harris Michaels. She's supposed to be his classmate. And then Ava, of course, she's already in Bayview, so I'm sure we'll get great scenes with her. So I'm super excited. I love the fact that Days will bring people in, and then when their role is done, they are done. But then all of a sudden they'll come back. I do like that about Days. It keeps the story interesting, that they don't mind letting people go. Some may say that's unfortunate for the actor who needs a paycheck, but for the storyline's sake, it's nice to see some characters develop, and then others have a storyline, they move on. But we are going to go ahead and get into the topic of this episode, which is a kiss. So let's get started with that. Let's get into the episode, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast for episode 3. And it's called A Kiss because just watching the storylines for these two couples in particular, it's just interesting to see how something, and I know, um, you know, a kid, like when you're with someone, it's you want them to be faithful, and have your back. But it's just interesting to see how one mistake can change so many characters' lives in Soapland. And so the first couple we have is Thomas, excuse me, Hope and Liam, because of Thomas. So and Liam have been married. They have a child together. They're raising their family. She has a adoptive son there. He's helping raise him. And they're really connected into Forrester, which y'all know that's the main family on the show. Forrester, and she's a Logan, of course, and so they're really connected, right? And but she's a fashion designer at Forrester Creations, and she's been having these thoughts and feelings about Thomas, who is a creator there. Um, I'm giving backstory because sometimes people will watch what I'm doing just to support, but they don't actually watch the story. So, anyways, because of this, Hope Thomas has done a lot to Hope. He knew her baby was alive. He didn't tell her. He kept the secret from her. He actually ended someone to keep that secret. No one found out about that. But he ended someone to keep that secret. He had, you know, he knew Sheila had gotten her mother drunk. He never told that. No one, his family knows he did that he knew the secret and was keeping it. um and that's how Brooke had, him and his dad Ridge had broken up or whatever, but no one really told that on his family because they didn't want Brooke to know that Thomas was in on it, as far as at least knowing about this, that Sheila had done it, and he didn't tell. And then with the CPS call, he called CPS using his little boy's phone because he had a voice manipulator, and he called and pretended to be Brooke, which is Hope's mother. He called and pretended to be her so that his dad could find out that she called CPS, and it would cause him to break up, and then that would have his dad go back to his mom. So Thomas is this character that's done a lot to Hope. And so Liam, her husband here, does not trust him at all. But Hope is like the forgiving, love is love. We're all in this together. Live and learn. Let's forgive. And so she's on that vibe, and because of this, and because she does, the son she adopted is actually Thomas's biological son, so they share custody of the little boy Douglas. Because of that, she tries to make peace. And she was going along, everything was fine. After the CPS call, they fired Thomas from the company, and now that was her lead designer, and they fired him. And then her fashion just tanked, her fashion line. Oh my gosh, it just did so horrible. They had Eric Forrester working for her, Zende working, but they just could not save it. They had to bring Thomas back. Can you hear the sarcasm in my voice? They had to bring Thomas back, right? So when they bring him back, all of a sudden, Hope realizes, I have this desire for a bad boy, because they call Thomas a bad boy. I call him a psycho, but it's neither here nor there. She has these feelings and longings for this man that she shouldn't have them for. Now, Brooke saw this, and Brooke tried to tell her, like, Hope, you need to be honest with yourself about what's going on. Because she was saying, if you're honest, you know how you have a crush, and if you can't date your crush, or you can't get to your crush, like you're not dating, they don't know you're alive, you just got a crush on them, but they don't know you exist, but they exist. And so everything, you're just in tune with everything they're doing, and you love it all or whatever, but they have no clue. And so because you have this crush, and you want them to notice you, to want you, you want a relationship or something to come out of it, but you can't act upon it because they don't, you might be shy, whatever reasons, but you can't act upon it. The crush grows, right? And that's what happened with Hope. And that's why Brooke was telling her, you need to be honest with your feelings, because if you don't speak about this, how you're feeling, what's going on, your emotions, this will get out of hand. And child, that's exactly what it did. So she's having all these feelings about Thomas. Maybe they even had her with the fan blowing in her hair, thinking about them being intimate. I said, child, okay, girl. So then they go off to Rome, right? So they go off to Rome and she's having a good time. Her fashion that wasn't did really well, and but Liam is apprehensive about Thomas. He doesn't like it. And honestly, it got to the point where Hope and Liam were not getting along because she said, trust me. Even if you don't trust Thomas, I need you to trust me that I would never do anything. Now, Steffi, who was a rival in all of this back in the day, because Steffi is happily married now, but Liam still longs for Steffi, right? Excuse me, Hope, but a lot of people say, oh, but if he could, he would get back with Steffi. And so Steffi tells him, I've seen the way Hope looks at my brother Thomas, and I know she has feelings for him. So because of that, he goes, he's just like, he doesn't believe it at first, but then he's like, should I believe it? And Hope is like, no, 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 no. I love you. I love our family. Steffi is just, I don't know why she's doing this. She's trying to ruin our marriage, baby, because I want you. So she goes to Rome, and she and Thomas have a great time. Liam doesn't go, but they talk him into going at the last minute. So he goes, and he sees Hope wrapped up in the moment of Rome and just the excitement of her fashion line doing so well and her desire that she has been burying for Thomas. She sees him and she just goes for it. She just gives him a kiss, plants it on his lips. She just has to. And Liam sees this. Now, Liam sees this and he just walks away. He doesn't do anything about it. He just walks away, which is a problem in of itself. But then he sees Steffi and he kisses Steffi. And Steffi's like, I am a married woman, sir. Don't do that. So then we go back and Liam, he goes to LA. He never even confronts Hope about kissing Thomas. So he goes back to LA. They're at their cabin. They're talking. And then the next thing you know, he's telling her he wants a divorce because how could she want Thomas? After all the things he's done to them, how he tried to ruin their marriage, how could, what he lied about Beth being alive. He knew she was alive and didn't say anything. How could you? He called CPS on your mama. How could you want this man? And Hope said, I don't know why. I don't know why I did that. It was a mistake. She acted like she was just so disgusted with herself. But he told her, girl, I want a divorce. I said, after a kiss? Now, to understand this, you have to know that Liam has flip-flopped between Steffi and Hope. And he's always, now, it depends on how you feel as a fan, because I've seen some people say Liam has flip-flopped and he all between them, and so he's getting what he deserves. And other people said, well, Hope ran after Liam when he was with Steffi and stuff. She knew how he felt about Steffi, and she was running him down. So I mean, it is what it is. She's always known he had feelings for Steffi, and she's always like, even no matter when he messed up or whatever he did with Steffi, Hope has always forgiven him. So she doesn't understand how one kiss could make him just want a divorce, because she's forgiven him time after time again and got over him hurting her. And so she doesn't get it. Listen, honestly, it's not, I just feel like this kiss that they had, one, they did get a divorce. It was the quickest divorce in soap history. For two people who have been together for a while, major couples on a major couple on a show, this was the fastest divorce in soap history. Like, literally, she goes and she sleeps with Thomas because she feels like Liam is going after Steffi, and he goes over to Steffi's and kiss her again. Like, the magnitude of these two not being together, what it has done, the domino effect it has had on other couples is crazy, right? Because now Ridge is upset because he's like, Thomas was doing so well. He had gotten over his obsession with Hope. He wasn't. This boy might go back to kissing on a mannequin because he loves Hope. And honestly, I don't think she all she keeps saying is, I want a man who only wants me. But does that mean if it was a different man, you would be okay? You would still be okay with it? That's my only problem with Hope and the whole kissing thing. But then so she's just like, I just want to see where this goes with Thomas. And so Ridge tried to pinpoint her feelings and she would not give. She was just like, it's still new, we're gonna see, and everything. But I feel like she's just using Thomas because her ego is bruised, because she realizes Liam does want Steffi. And Liam is so now Ridge is upset. Steffi is upset because she doesn't want Thomas to have a black backslide, because y'all know he was obsessed with Hope. And so they don't want her to leave him alone or whatever happens, and then he has this obsession with her again. And on top of that, Liam has kissed because of this. Liam has kissed Steffi twice, and she hasn't told her husband Finn. She hasn't told him that he's done this. And now Liam is kind of bothering them in their marriage, pretending to be protection because Finn has mixed feelings about Sheila, but that's another story, y'all. So it's just seeing the fallout for just these two characters kissing. It's just this huge fallout, and it's just crazy to me that happened. So because because Steffi kissed Thomas, now she's no longer married to Liam. Liam is over there running to Steffi's house all the time, trying to talk to her, trying to telling her he still loves her. And Kelly, even though he's pretending like it's all for protection, we know that he still has feelings for her, and he regrets choosing Hope over her. And then we see Thomas and Hope, and Thomas is in love with Hope. Like, he loves her. He's always loved her. He's always made it very clear she's the only woman for him. And now my concern is, if Hope doesn't, like, if they go in a few months and this doesn't pan out the way they think it is, will he go back to his obsession with her? I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. So then we go to the next couple who had it was just a kid, like it was just a kiss. One of them had a kiss, and it was Curtis and Portia. So Curtis kissed Jordan, but I understood why he did it, because he was confused. So Portia and Curtis, they were together 20 years ago. It didn't work out because she was married and she lied to him and didn't tell him she was married. He thought this was a single woman, he was a single man, and he was in a relationship with her. But no, she was married, and she decided to go back to her husband. They find out she was pregnant. When Curtis meets her 20 years later, he asks her, was that child mine? Like, is Trina mine? Mine. And she says, no, 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 it's my husband's. She was lying. She didn't know at the time. She didn't know whose it was. So she just went with her husband because she had made up with him. So, but she and her husband get divorced. Curtis and Portia work it out. And 20 years later, they're getting married again. On her wedding day, her daughter finds out that Trina finds out that Portia has lied to her and Curtis could be her father. Of course, Curtis finds out on the wedding day as well, because Trina confronted Portia. And this made Curtis confused. He was just confused. Because he's big on lying. Like, this is a character that they have that's really big on lying. Like, don't lie to me. And so, because Portia did lie, he just felt like he couldn't trust. Like, you lied to me when I met you years ago. Now you've lied to me about Trina being my daughter, and you married me knowing you were lying to me. So he just has issues with that, right? And so then we see where um Jordan, his ex-wife, she still loves him. She's always wanted him back, but she stepped aside because she saw he was happy with Portia. And she actually tried to tell Portia to tell Curtis the truth so that she wouldn't end up like her, because he's divorced from Jordan because she lied about things. And so he's been he was relying on Jordan. She was talking to him. She was his confidant. And so in a weak moment, he did kiss her, because but he was not with Portia. He was legally married, but they were separated. And so he wasn't with her, and so he kissed her, kissed Jordan, and you know, he was confused on it. He thought he wanted to be with Jordan, and she told him, "No, you need to find out what you want to do." And he ends up going back to Portia, but he doesn't tell Portia about the kids. And Jordan, when she finds out he goes back, she's like, "Okay, fine. I'm like, I'm not gonna keep going on this merry-go-round with you. I'm gonna move on." So, child, Portia meets a man at the bar, and she sleeps with him, but she also tells him about the kiss with her ex husband, and it is poor. This is Jordan who meets that. It is actually Portia's brother that she meets. They don't know each other. They have no clue who each other are is. And then when they find out, he of course lets Portia know that Jordan and Curtis had kissed. Not because he was being mean, but it was just that he felt like Portia had a right to know. That's his sister, so she had a right to know. But he still wants Jordan. He just didn't like Curtis. One, Curtis is the ex who was stringing Jordan along, and that's how Jordan felt. And I could understand why she felt like that. But she should have known Curtis was confused. And plus, that's his sister, so he told this. And so from this kiss, even though Curtis was trying to work through and forgive Portia for lying for 20 years about, Trina being his daughter, she was like, I don't know if I want to be with him. That's what she was telling Elizabeth, her best friend. I don't know if I want to be with him because he lied. He was, he kissed Jordan, and I don't know if I could trust him. And she slept at the hospital that night. She didn't go home, and it was just a whole mess. And I'm like, girl, I don't know. I'm just like, it was one kiss. You lied for 20 years. I know the two things are not the same, but yours seems a little bit worse. I mean, to be honest with you, what you did seems way worse, and he was trying to forgive you, or whatever. So she was mad at him, and she just could not forgive him. And then she was like, her brother trying to talk to Jordan, and she resentful of Jordan and trying to throw it up in Jordan's face. You kissed a married man and all this, like, girl. I mean, come off that high horse. That's all I'm saying. Just it's a lot of judgmental people, characters on these soaps. I'm like, come off that high horse because you're no saint yourself. But anyways, child. So she ends up, Curtis wants to try to work this out with her and make her forgive him. Jordan's brother excuse me, Portia's brother is trying to talk to Jordan. But anyways, they end up at the Metro Court, and Curtis ends up being shot because somebody was either after Sonny or Anna, but he ends up being shot, and now he's could be permanently paralyzed. And so he's trying to push Portia away, and now she's like, I'm sorry, I want to be with you, because she's a doctor, so she knows his what's going on with him. And so he's like, but you were mad at me, and I'm mad at you because when I think about this, 20 years I didn't know my daughter when I was up walking. Now I could be paralyzed, and I'm gonna have to get to know her this way. And she came in and she told him, you could just stop all that trying to push me away because we're going home to our family, and you're not pushing me or Trina away. And that's pretty much it with them, y'all. But I'm just saying, it's like one kiss changed so much, because even Trina, when she found out that Curtis kissed Jordan, she was upset with him about that. Jordan could have had a relationship with Portia's brother, and I think they still will. But now she's like, no, because you told your sister I slept with you, and then you told her about the kiss. I can't trust you, even though that was his sister. She'll probably end up coming around. And then it's just the way it flip flops from with Portia and Curtis, on her being upset with him, and then him getting shot, and she's like, oh my gosh, it wasn't that big of a deal now that I think about it. And then him being like, well, I'm still mad at you about lying to me for 20 years and all of that. Just one kiss brought about all of this. Not as much as the Bold and Beautiful storyline, but still. And that's it, y'all. That I was just thinking about that, how in soap world, like, just something so small can have so many effects on so many people's lives, and even in real life. Now, I don't know if in in our everyday life, if you kiss someone, would you tell? I don't know. I've never cheated. I've never cheated on someone that I was with, so I don't know if I would tell if I kissed someone, especially if you knew it wasn't going anywhere. Would you feel like they have the right to know? I don't know if I would. I probably would tell because I don't like lies and secrets. I'm that girl that wants to know. Like, you know how some people are like, if their husband or their wife or whomever, whatever you call it, if they're cheating on them and they're like, oh, I don't, some people don't want to know, and then other people do. I'm the girl that's like, listen, tell me, don't have me out here looking silly. So I can understand why a little bit about why Portia was upset, because it was like, we're trying to work this out and you went and kissed this girl. And besides that, she does feel like Jordan, really wants Curtis, and she's been saying that for so long. But you got him, girl. You'll be okay. All right, guys, that's it with the whole kiss. And then just going over some soaps this week. I am loving Bold and the Beautiful was much better. It was much better this week. I know a lot of people don't like Sheila, but when Sheila comes back to the soaps, it's better. It's the because they haven't. She is strong enough to hold another storyline. I don't know if they think the other people, the other cast on their show are, because when there's no Sheila, they literally have one storyline at a time. But it seems like when Sheila comes back, they'll have multiples going. Even if it's dealing with the kind of the same people, it's still multiple storylines going. Like with the Thomas and Hope and Liam, that was the only storyline going for a month and a half or so, if not longer. But now with Sheila being back, you have the what's going on with Hope and Thomas, because she slept with them, but she doesn't want anybody to know she slept with them, and all of this. And then how is that going to affect Brooke and Ridge's relationship? Because Ridge he does not like that she is with his son, because he doesn't want him to become obsessed. Is Taylor going to get in the mix? Because, Taylor already is upset with Brooke because she feels like, I put this pact together and you broke it. Girl, I say there was never a pact. But she's upset with that. And then how are they going to interact at work? And then on top of that, it also brought about Steffi. Liam and Steffi with the whole him kissing her and her not telling Finn, and she's feeling guilty about that. And then Sheila is released from prison, and you see Finn is conflicted in his feelings. And so because he's conflicted in his feelings, now Liam took a photo of him hugging Sheila, who who shot him and his wife and left them for dead. How could you hug this woman? And Liam is using that to his advantage to try to get Steffi. Now Kelly, has went into the water. So it's a lot of more, like, whereas there was just one storyline, now there's way more storylines going on. And Sheila is kind of causing two of them. There's one, the storyline with her just being out, and then she has her storyline with Deacon where he can't be out in public with her. I don't know. I'm like you, Reflection. Don't be ashamed of me. He can't be out in public with her. And then the story, the conflict between Liam, he's really trying to get after Steffi, but Finn has already put him on warning, like, don't do it. Don't come after my wife, because your marriage is messed up. So I don't know. When Sheila comes back, they have more storylines. They do, and I enjoy it. Um, General Hospital. Oh, it is breaking my heart, this Sasha storyline. Like, they have a few other ones going on, but I'm only going to talk about the ones I'm really interested in. Because it's breaking my heart, the Sasha storyline. Like, it is disgusting to see the way Gladys, and congratulations to her, she had her child, she gave birth. But it is disgusting to see how Gladys is really drugging this one. Her and this doctor are drugging this girl up just so she can have access to her money, to Sasha's money. And Cody finally told Dante, and it's like, why couldn't you say this before this happened to Sasha? If you had been honest from the beginning and told Sasha why she couldn't trust Gladys, because Gladys was pretty much stealing from her, Sasha wouldn't have never got on those drugs again. And I don't know how this is gonna play out. But can we get some reply for Sasha? Can you please give this girl a break? Um, and then the Mason, Sonny, Austin storyline. I'm liking it. I do. I think it brings back what y'all been saying the whole time. Old Sonny. I think it brings back that Sonny. So I'm enjoying that storyline. Uh, Esme, child, Esme is Esme. Esme is trying to get at Spencer. And I'm like, girl, how could you, like, you had a child by his father. Why would you do this? Why would you want to be with him? Why would he want to be with you? I don't know, child, but let's see. And then, of course, we have The Young and the Restless. Honestly, y'all, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not enjoying the Jack Phyllis Diane. It's been going on too long. It's been over a year. Diane has been back a year. Either let the other shoe drop or move on. Let's move on. Let's move the storyline on. Let her and Jack be happy. And I know a lot of people think I don't like Diane. But I don't. I'm indifferent. I don't care. I think she was a liar because she lied the whole time she's been back. But I think she's good for Jack because he needs a woman who needs him, and she's that girl. So I don't mind the two of them being together. Just please let them be together and stop people coming at them and stop Diane with the little smirks and sly remarks. Just stop it all. The storyline is boring. Like y'all are beating a dead horse with this storyline. You made Phyllis go absolutely crazy behind Diane, and now you have Ashley doing the same thing, and this Abbott war. Like, I don't want to see this, but we'll see how it goes. I do like Kyle with Audra. I told y'all that on the last podcast. I like Kyle with Audra. I like the different person he is. Victor, Adam, Nate, Victoria. The only reason I care about that storyline is if Victoria gets taken down. Nate is a jerk, but I like him. I know he's a jerk, but I still like him. So I'm looking forward to seeing them both being taken down. It's not gonna happen because they never do it, but you know, honestly, because it's not gonna happen, I don't know. What else is going on Young and the Restless? That's pretty much like Summer. Please move on. Please move on. Like move on from Kyle. He has definitely moved on from you. You need to sign divorce papers and keep it moving. Sharon, I like this new Sharon. I'm really enjoying her. And because Chance is a little bit boring, and Sharon was boring too. But this new Sharon that has a business and all this, her character feels different to me, and I like it. Who else is going? And that's pretty much it, y'all. That's all I can really think about with the Young and Restless. Because Lily is boring to me. Her and Daniel, I don't care, child. I don't care about them two being together. Devon and Abby, I don't know. Like they're matching their couples better, but there's no excitement to it for me. Maybe because they drag it out so long and people never pay the way they should. Like the victims, like if you're a bad guy, you are a bad guy forever on Young and the Restless. Like they don't redeem you at all. Or make any kind of good qualities. And what kills me the most is that like Phyllis is considered bad, right? And so is Adam. And so they're having this interaction. This was before today's episode, but they're having this interaction, and she's like, I don't like you. And I'm like, y'all should like each other. You're in the same boat. No one likes you. Y'all are in the same boat. At least y'all could be friends to each other. You know what I mean? I don't know, child. Let's move on. So then there's Days of Our Lives, and y'all know I feel like that's the best soap. It was a little bit it wasn't as action filled for me this week as normal, but it was still really good. Like they had a few slow days for me, but they wrapped up the Abe storyline. So ooh, I'm so glad. So y'all can stop complaining. Oh my god, I'm like y'all complaining in the Days of Our Lives chats and stuff. The man needs to work. Y'all want to see Abe just being Paulina's sidekick? I like that he had his own storyline. But they wrapped that up finally, and Nurse Whitley. Okay, this is what I'm gonna say about this. Why is it that okay, if it's mental health, we give them a break and say, oh, well, it's mental health, so let's not really make them pay for their crimes and everything. And then other people were like, no, they need to go to prison. You know what I mean? So she's probably going to go to some kind of uh, somewhere for the criminally insane or something. She's probably going to go and do that. But I enjoyed her on the show. So Kim Cole. So I was happy to see her on the show. But that's again how Days does. They bring somebody in, and then once they're done, all right, because Colin is gone now. They brought him in. It was a good storyline to me when he was there, and now he's done. And so yeah, now we know now that officially that it is Eric's baby because Sloan saw the test, and we know it's Eric's baby. I wonder, is she gonna tell EJ? Because Nicole tells Eric in a preview that Sloan is the one who took her papers, and he's like, why would she do that? So I wonder, is she going to have EJ help her with changing the test results, or if she's just gonna come clean? I don't know. And then it's supposed to show that Leo was gonna because Gwen is supposed to be marrying Leo, so it's supposed to show that he's not, maybe he's not gonna let her marry him. I don't know, but and the fact that Dimitri was hitting Leo up the day of his wedding, wanting him to come over, and then Leo is gushing about this new man in his life to Gwen, knowing that's Gwen's man. It is a mess. I cannot, but I must see what happens. I want to see what happens, but that is a mess. Like, do you know how, like, you are not a friend to do that? And what else is going on in that soap? Oh, I wonder if they're gonna have any more scenes with the new mayor because Abe still doesn't have his memory, and that new mayor is a beast. I wouldn't mind. I like a villain. I like a villain, even if it's just to come in, shake things up for maybe a month or two, and then they're gone. I don't mind that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens from that because he was coming after Chanel. He already fired Rafe. So what's gonna go from that whole thing? And that's really all I'm interested in. Just these, like, I'm into the Eric, Sloan, Nicole storyline. Now y'all know I say I don't really care for Nicole, but what I will say, because I think people think I don't like to see her on the screen, and that's not what I mean when I say I don't care for Nicole. No, I like to see Nicole's scenes because she's a great actress. She keeps you entertained the whole time. I don't like her character, but when she's on screen and they have when she has a storyline going, it's interesting. Like this, and I hate her and Eric going back and forth, but I am interested in how Sloan is gonna get caught because y'all know Sloan is my girl, but I'm not biased when it comes to people. Like, Sloan is wrong for what she's doing, but I don't feel too bad for Nicole and Eric because Father Eric is going around like, I don't know how he doesn't have 10 kids by now because, baby, he is one shot and I got you pregnant. So I don't know, so I want to just see how that all is going to turn out. But I don't care for Nicole. I'm indifferent to her, but when she's on the screen and like I want to see what she's doing because I mean the actress who plays her is really good. So anyways, guys, that's all I really have for you going forward. Thank you so much for watching this pod. We are going to get into what you had to say. So there's just a few comments that I pulled. They're random comments. I didn't really I just pulled a few from each soap opera and dropped them in. It's just completely random, so there's no rhyme or reason to it. I just that's it. There's no rhyme or reason. I just pulled them and put them on here. But thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you next Wednesday at 7 a.m. for Let's Talk Soaps with Lanickia. Thank you so much.
Beside the green, green sweet.